Welcome back to my channel Omen Analysis, an analysis channel where I talk about different things in pop culture, entertainment, and politics, while also creating my own analysis of these specific occurrences. Make sure you follow my personal Twitter for my own opinions and funny tweets on the daily, as well as the Omen Analysis Twitter page for more updates on our content and things going on in pop culture. Today, for our Omenology series, I decided to talk about one of the most important films ever and pay tributes to the recently late Chadwick Boseman. Today, we are going to be dissecting and analyzing Black Panther as a film and how important the film was and still is during our current socio-political times. Black Panther is a comic book movie produced by Marvel Studios and directed by the famous director Ryan Coogler. The movie itself is the highest-grossing comic book film for a solo comic book character. The film was also nominated for 7 Oscars, winning 3, thus making it the Marvel film to win the most Oscars. The story of Black Panther resonated with a lot of people. The film is a classic in every means necessary, and even if it didn't have as many accolades as it does, everyone could still see how much the film has done for everybody, specifically Black people. The story of Black Panther revolves around the story of a young Black prince on his journey to becoming the king of the great nation Wakanda, after his father passes away in a tragic event following the events of Captain America's Civil War. He faces many trials and tribulations, including having to go against a relative in his life and ultimately making Wakanda accessible to the world for help in trade and resources. The main character, T'Challa, is finding his purpose in life after losing his father due to a tragic explosion. T'Challa often doubts himself and even at times doesn't fully trust in the process. That is until he has to defend his own honor along with Wakanda's honor from the evil villain Killmonger. Killmonger in the story wants to open Wakanda's wall up and send his resources across the world to help everyone. During the climax of the film, T'Challa appears to die in ritual combat with Killmonger. That is until he is found on the other side of Wakanda with M'Baku and the rest of the guerrillas. His mother, sister, and Agent Ross bring him back to life, where he is fully able to gain back his mantle as king, and the conclusion of the story is that T'Challa finds himself worthy of the mantle, but also learns that Wakanda should be open to help with diplomatic measures across the world. One of the most interesting things about Black Panther is that it tackles so many interesting political themes that are relevant to this day. Some of these themes include political isolationism, trade, race relations, and the actual Black Panther Party. Essentially, Wakanda represents what life for Black people might have been if horrible things like colonization, slavery, and the effects of institutional racism had not and still weren't occurring today. Black Panther reaches beyond the screen in that it provides such great representation to Black people of all ages. For once, little Black children finally have a movie that they can look at and say, I can be him or her. Black adults can also feel inspired because of the great work and depth that was put into the story of this film. This film was so successful because of the representation it provided for Black people globally. It was a moment for Black people as a whole, and we had all come together for this one huge event to celebrate. Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa and Black Panther itself is why people resonated with the character so much. Every line he delivered and every action scene that we saw was done with such conviction and strength. Chadwick did this film great justice, and that is why it is hard to know that he is gone now. But his legacy will of course and always live on forever as the face of a cultural phenomenon. Now, I'm not just saying it was a cultural phenomenon based off of personal opinion. This film was a huge commercial success. The official box office numbers for Black Panther are $1.344 billion. Not only did the film receive multiple Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, it also received 3 Golden Globe nominations, 2 wins at the 25th Screen Actors Guild Awards, and 3 wins at the 24th Critics' Choice Awards from the 12 nominations that the film received in total. This film is the highest-grossing film by a Black director, and one of the highest-grossing films in history. This is huge because it proves that you don't have to have stereotypical traits or narratives where Black people or the person of color is overcoming racism as an obstacle to success. It proved that you can put people of color, specifically Black people, in cool sci-fi and action films, and they will be just as successful, if not more, than the white and male-centered stories. This film showed that Black stories are profitable, and more people should invest in these stories about Black people and communities of color that are well written instead of always funding films about Black people that portray us in a negative and stereotypical light. Personally, I really love this film a lot. This movie, as someone who's been a comic book fan of both the source material and the films, it really meant a lot to me when I first saw this movie in theaters. As a young black person in the digital space, it meant so much to me to see a movie where the people look like me and are in different areas of STEM and tech in general, as well as just superheroes. Black Panther is the reason why so many black people and people of color are now getting a chance to be reflected in genres such as sci-fi, thriller, action, and more, to name a few. It's quite interesting to see, and I hope that more films are given a chance to shine, where people of color are given films where they can envision themselves behind characters that look like them. My dream is to have a Riri Williams MCU film debut, so if anyone from Marvel is watching this video, please consider giving Riri Williams a film debut. We would totally love it. The importance of Black Panther is its cultural significance. So many people, for the first time in their lives, felt represented and heard through the impact of this movie. It received so much praise and won so many awards because of the incredible work put into this film and the story of identity in this film. Black Panther is the best film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the best comic book film of all time. Before I end this video, I wanted to say thank you to Chadwick Boseman for his entire life's work of portraying important Black historical figures and characters throughout your entire career. Thank you for constantly pushing for diverse and memorable stories that we as an audience could have and share together. Lastly, thank you for being the face of the huge cultural phenomenon that is Black Panther. You will forever be remembered and live on in our hearts. Thank you for watching another Omenology episode. Make sure you check out our other videos in the series as well as subscribing to us on here so you don't miss a beat. Thank you guys and have a great day. Wakanda forever.